I'm just loading the game back in because I tabbed into the game and I pressed the space key to unpause because that's a common thing amongst a lot of games, space key to pause. Yeah, that didn't work out so well. It basically then detached. So I'm just loading it back in. Anyway, we're here, I think. Yeah, there we go. So let's have a look at the fuel tank status and see what we're dealing with. Godfather, thank you very much for your tier 2. 61 months, sir. Oh my god, it's evenly drained the tanks, doesn't it? That's what it's done. Evenly drained the tanks. Apart from that one, what makes that one different? That one here, that's interesting. Why was that actually not drained of fuel? But it bypassed it and got all the fuel from the upper stage. I reckon there's a clue to the bug, though. Can I please describe the shape of your rocket? My rocket is shaped like a pencil. There you go. Nah, Mavi, we've checked all that, man. The cross feeds are disabled on everything. It shouldn't even get past this. See? Cross feed. It's a pink pencil is what it is. Ty, congrats on joining the stream when I'm not actually finishing. Well done. Set target. Why can I not create a maneuver node? Are you having a massive cold snap over there right now, Ty? Looks like it. Why am I unable to create maneuver node? What's going on? Is it because it was paused? It is. Like, you can't create a maneuver node when it's paused. Bizarre. Okay. Let's break out of here. That's a lot of Delta V. Oh my god. 925 Delta V just to bust out of here. Let's make that as small as possible. What? What's it counting down? See, I would love to know the value of that, though. 13 million. And if I put that here, still 13 million. Okay. This doesn't make any difference. It's a skill. That's what it is, Ty. Can I ask a flight sim fault that's been plaguing me for over a year and even Microsoft couldn't offer me a solution? I have highly doubt that I will be able to offer you a solution if Microsoft can't. Like, they make the game, man. I should probably already be pointing at the maneuver node, which I'm not. I need to put lights on this thing. I was thinking we can, after we've tried to hit the sun, which I don't think we'll do, I think we should go to, maybe Juna? Juna might be a good one. We can go and have a look at Jewel, but it's, no way we're getting down there. I really should have put RCS on this thing. Okay, that looks fine. Yeah, that sounds weird, Pyro. Like, only they can fix that. That's something in the shopping cart. It probably is easier just to create another count. Right, I'm going to check if we can get away with separation yet. Let's see. Let's see. Where's the... So we need to empty all those tanks by the look of it. By Jokesy, thank you for 51 months. Motor Junkie, thank you for 25. And then we want to... Where's the separator? So we'll empty that one as well. So all those need to empty. This one needs to fill. This one needs to fill. God, this is so bugged. Okay. That one's in. We've still got fuel left. NXN, thank you for 77 months. Right, let's break out of this. Okay, so we are now orbiting Kerbal. Right, so 7,000 delta V and we can hit the planet. Basically. Well, hit the sun. But we can just about 7k. 7k and we can do it. We have 2,400. However, if we ditch a load of stuff, maybe that will jump up a lot because we can lose all this mass. All this dead weight. We've transferred everything into the upper stages by the look of it. Why don't we spin around so we can see what's going on? That's a lower, lower, lower. It's a separation. I think we should separate now. And now we've gone down to 2,000 delta V. That just cannot be right. There's no way we've lost a load of mass and the delta V's gone down. There was hardly any fuel left in those things. Oh yeah, we have 5k. Well, why does it say 1900 here? This is so confusing. No fuel. According to this, we can't do it. We'll run out of delta V trying because we need 7,000 and we've only got 5,500. So even with this crazy build, we can't do it. We'll go as low as we can and see what happens. Killer Frankzilla, thank you for 64 months. Right. It's coming in slowly. We're trying to head towards Kerbal, yeah. That's the plan. So normally you'd get completely detonated by the heat and stuff, but the thermal systems have not been added yet. So in theory we can smash into the star or get very close to it, or both. Unfortunately, we don't have enough delta V to smash into it. We'll just have to do a flyby. Well, we're now going to be inside the radius of Moho, which is interesting. Wait, why is it saying we're out of fuel? 1 second. We might be able to do this, you know. 3,600 delta V. Oh, it's going to be painfully close. It's painfully close. Look at that. That is frustrating. We've got all the fuel. On that center stage, though, it didn't nick fuel from the upper stage. The lower stage is nicking fuel, but the middle stage didn't. I don't know, Battle Kettle, does it even have one? Don't think a star has an atmosphere. Yeah, it has like a big corona of hot plasma blasting away from it. Whether that gives you any kind of friction, I don't know. Lack of solar exposure. Not for long. Don't think we're burning fuel as efficiently as it thought, because this red bar is actually moving. I think I'm going to kill that. I don't know why it's behaving like that, Mavi. T-minus 23 minutes? What? We'll get pretty close. Do you know, if we didn't have the parachute attached, it is possible we'd have enough Delta V. In fact, there's a few things on board that I could probably have left behind. Like, we could have removed the landing legs, we could have removed the parachute. When Valentina's like, why are you not taking landing legs? It's fine. Don't worry about it. You don't need them where you're going. See, the Delta V calculation's off again. That delta V calculation was absolutely miles away. That planner said 1600 delta V. We burned through over 2000 of it and we didn't get anywhere near what it said. That is a bit rubbish. So that's what I wanted to be, 270,000 Ks, and that's where we are, 864. I mean, it's still a bit bright, not going to lie. Where's he gone? It's funny how if you do that, it suddenly does this. Anyway, we're out of fuel, I think. Completely and utterly. Yep. That's it. Out of fuel. So that didn't work. We tried to build a super rocket, and that didn't work. But the delta V calculations on the maneuver nodes are definitely not right. What is it, though? What's perplexing me is what is it about... There's something about this section here that stops fuel from moving from here outwards. Like that rocket only burns fuel from here. It doesn't nick it from here. This one nicks it from here. Why? What is the difference? I'm sure they've got the same connector. Dressed up. Slightly frustrated is how I'm feeling dressed up. The whole fuel bug thing is really kind of, you know, frame rate issues aside and price issues aside, the fuel bug that transfers fuel from your upper stages downwards when you're ascending is borderline game breaking. Borderline game breaking. Because you have to manually pump fuel around. Otherwise, you'll never get to where you want to go. And then the maneuver nodes, which I've already just worked out, are not calculating delta V correctly. I mean, again, that's like borderline. It's things that significantly impact your ability to get around the solar system. Like, how are you supposed to enjoy the game when that happens? But I can't work out why that upper stage behaves differently to that middle stage in terms of fuel. That's a TD-37. That's a decoupler. I thought we replaced these. I thought we replaced the decouplers just with separators. And why will that help Trouble? I don't want fuel to crossfeed. That's the whole point. It's like I don't want fuel to move from my upper stage and be consumed by any lower stage. I've tried it. I tried it. I literally tried turning it on to see if it made a difference, and it doesn't. I'm not sure how a pipe is going to help. Do you mean, what, try to pipe it back again? Well, the decoupler says it's crafted for large rocket stacks or payloads, equipped with several small explosive charges and warning arrows to indicate which direction will D. And shift doesn't give you, well, it didn't give you more information, it does now. Guess that was bugged. Whereas the decoupler, a large separator will eject anything attached to both sides. So the stack separator is arguably what we want. We could, we could try flipping the decoupler upside down. Let's try and re-engineer this, because, like, I kind of want to go to Juno, so whether we come back or not is open for debate. To get there, we'd need... Let's see. To get to Juno, we would need... Here. 1450 times 1500, let's say 400. 1900 there. 250 and 130, so let's call that 400. Added to the 1900 gives us 2300 approximately. On top of the 1000 to break, so that's 3300 on top of that. So about 7000 delta V, roughly. But that's just to get there. So if you want to come back, good luck with that one. Can you build a space station alone from? In theory, in theory, yes. In theory, we could build something and put it into orbit and then go and try and dock with it and refuel. That's always fun. Doing it in vanilla without any mods to help you, that's even more fun. That's like proper old school. And then doing it with delta V calculators that seem to be off, that could get interesting. But I mean, you know, we could try and put a station up. A fueling station. The problem is there's only so many tanks you can, like, you've got to take those tanks fully loaded up and then detach and come back. So maybe we just go land on Juno for a laugh and see what it's like. So contact the delta V of that upper stage is 3,600, which is 1,500, 1,900. So what was that? 2,300. See, in theory, that all of that though would get us back, but we'd have to land with that much fuel, which is not possible unless we build a larger upper stage. In which case, the thrust to weight ratio might be off. 1.4, if that's to be believed. Wait, how did some of the solar panel... I'm sure I put 6 solar panels on there. Oh yeah, sorry about that. My bad. Oh god, why do they clip in like that? That's horrible. The statistics are also in the game right now. Yaw. I want some lights. Where's lighting? Lights. Someone tell you how to move the camera up and down the rocket. Have you done the tutorial? Because it tells you. So hold down the middle mouse button, you can do that. You can also right-click on any part. Sorry. Is it right-click? 1 second. You middle-click the mouse on any part, and it will focus on that. Yeah? So middle-click, and then you can scroll around it. Middle-click, scroll around it. If you get confused, press the home key, and it just resets the camera. Yeah, you see, the tutorial actually teaches you about the camera, you see. Which is why I ran through it quickly, just to pick up any bits. Like, the other thing I picked up on was this down here, where you can basically focus on the different sides. You can rotate on stuff that way. So that was quite a handy one. I think we should have a longer transfer stage and a much shorter upper stage, is how I'm feeling about this. So I think what we'll do is we'll take that off there. And we'll basically make that a bit longer. What the heck? We'll get rid of some of this. Mr. Oblivious, thank you for your raid, sir. Welcome, guys. Hope you had a great stream. Dutch raid. As if you had an emote made for that. Oh, is that a single tank? I thought that was I thought that was smaller. Fuel tanks. Actually, let's put that to one side. Let's stick that on there. Let's nick them. Let's put them there like that. It is a lot of solid fuel boosters. I'm going to check all the stats in a minute and see what we can ditch. What have we got? We've got everything in the wrong order, which is great. So, main engine, lots and lots of thrusters, SRBs, 1.73, so it'll take off. Then we've got, oh god, all the detachments in the wrong place. Then we've got detach, SRBs, keep going until we detach the launch stage, which is that one. That needs to go further up. That one can come down. Detach, engine, delete. Detach. engine. Okay. Right, let's see how we get on with that. Dutch people love to throw on being Dutch. I have noticed this. It's a very Dutch thing. Like when you see the F1 races and all the people wearing orange shirts, like they just love it, don't they? I'm Dutch. Compact, thank you for 45 months. Right, we'll have this one under Juna for a laugh, and we'll call it the Juna Explorer. I think it'll potentially get there, may not get back. Last time we had problems because we didn't have any RCS, so I think we should add some RTS into here. We probably don't need it for the upper stage at all, so I think if we separators there, if we put an RCS here, fuel tanks, monopropellant, stick one of them in. 1.3. And then we'll put some RCS thrusters around the place. No. Have you actually got rid of the really good ones? Where's the 6-way monopropellant nozzle? Why would you get rid of that? It's the most useful thing ever. 20 kilonewtons of thrust. Blimey. That's a lot. Why is that on 3? Should give us some rotation. You think there's under favorites? What under here? Nothing under favorites. Aren't favorites just things that you favorite in here that then appear in favorites as well? I'll have a look in a sec. Utility, lights, ladder, stabilizer, RCS. Ah! Interesting. So they are around. That should help, shouldn't it? Right, so all the staging messed up again for no reason. Launch, engine, 6 boosters, boosters there, detach, separate, boost, detach, boost. Dun, dun. Okay, let's see if it flies. And here we are on the launch pad. Right, I want to turn RCS off. Stability is on. Countdown to 9 FPS. Yeah, why do we not have any fuel? And now we have fuel. What the heck? 13 FPS. It was literally showing no fuel, and then it just went, oh yeah. That's a heavy bird. I can almost feel the weight. Find you eat frame loss, make the sky the backdrop. Why does it do that? No difference. It's because of all the engines. The more engines you have that suck fuel, the worse it gets. And I've got loads of engines on that. Oh, that's a bit bendy. That's very flexible. I think that needs a bit of struttage on there. Look at this. Oh my god. It's gonna snap. That is really, really unstable. Oh dear. I should probably strut this a bit, shouldn't I? Thing is, if I can't get it to settle down and go straight, when I try to detach, it's going to end up hitting its own boosters. And yeah, we're about to let go of the SRBs. Well, I've got it stable. Ish. I think we have too much fuel in the launch stage. There it goes! Oh, that was messy. That was messy. I don't know what they've damaged. All the calculations are all wrong on this. I'm going to revert it. We've got far too much launch fuel. Probably better moving the fuel tanks up to the transfer stage. The other thing is it's probably pulling fuel down. Oh, this is where it's frustrating. When you're in the middle of launch, you can't do much about the fuel. But it's probably got way too much fuel in the lower stage simply because it's nicking fuel from up here. And until you get to a point where you can start moving fuel around, you can't do a lot about it. What do you want me to check on the declippers exactly? No, that's not how it works, Sherlock. I think it's bugged. It's bugged. We've tried this. I can't find a workaround at the moment, but it's really messing up launches because it nicks fuel from up here and starts burning it down here. How will a fuel line help? What's a fuel line going to do for us? What are you thinking? Ooh, a light strip. What, you want to pump fuel back up, basically? Pump it down? Why would you want to pump fuel down? We want it to stay up here. Yeah, what seems to happen, is well, earlier it wasn't nicking fuel from this bit, but it was nicking fuel from here. Don't know why. There's something very special about this. I think it's because it's between decouplers. I'm not sure. Where's the fuel line? Is there a fuel line in this? Fuel line. Is a breakthrough allowing fuel to transfer between tanks. Some critics say it's a glorified fire. Right, so will that automatically pump fuel? Wait a minute. Is it possible to do the asparagus thing? In which case I could get rid of the SRBs and just pump fuel into the main tank? Fuel line pumping helps, but it doesn't fix it. Yeah, but pumping fuel during flight is so faff, and the whole screen is really a bit janky, quite honestly. What is it under? Utility? Bottom of the fuel category. So if we go... I don't know if this is going to work, but if we try, like, pump from here to here, is that going to pump one way? I can't remember how they work. And then if we do, like, a fuel line from here to here... Okay, so maybe that will help. Maybe that will help. All right, let's launch it like that. I'm curious. Let's launch it like that and see if we can keep our eye on the fuel tank. See what it does. Oh yeah, struts. Let's put some struts on. That was pretty wobbly. Car Downs, thank you for 70 months, sir. GameX, thank you for 13 months. Compact, 45. If we stick some structural pieces on this thing.
Paul, did you laugh when Caleb mentioned on Clarkson's farm that he has a foreign child?
Yes, I did. I did, yeah. Because he was on about he's never been outside of Oxfordshire. He's like... Oh, that's brilliant. Them on there, and we'll put some stuff on here as well. Something like that. Grizzly, I don't like doing that. It looks a bit cheesy. Well, funnily enough, Tagarung, there is a heat shield on the bottom of the upper stage, and it doesn't stop that fuel from going between it. Right, so what we want to do is we want to bring up the resource manager, and we want to see what the fuel tanks are doing during liftoff. I wish I could make this smaller. Right, so this is the lower tank down here. So the S4s are the launcher tanks, right? And then the ADTP is the adapter. So they're all part of the launch, the bottom four. And then the S3 is the middle stage. What the heck, game? Why did you do that? Right, so you see that upper tank? The X200? That's literally the upper stage tank right there. And that is now losing fuel, which is ridiculous. S3s are the transfer stage tanks. They're also losing fuel. And S4s are the lower stage tanks. So it's just the most annoying bug in the game right now. It's just drawing fuel from every tank. It's not respecting stages, and it's not respecting crossfeeds being turned off on decouplers. Well, I mean, we can, you know, we can add these in. You see how buggy this window is. But the fact you're having to do this mid-flight is just stupid. Structural failure of linkage between ST and adapter. Vehicle destroyed. The struts made it worse. But I mean, I've got fuel lines on there, and that wasn't even stopping it, right? Those fuel lines. Yeah, but the trouble with 1 stage is, Vindex, is we're carrying a whole load of mass that we don't want. It's like dead weight. So all our delta V values drop massively. Are these just too long now? Or what? Is that the maximum length? I don't think you can disable the tanks. Like, if you bring up the parts manager, the only options you have on a tank, let's say we go for one of these X200s here, right? Where's it gone? Upper stage. The only thing we can set here is how much fuel it has. We can't do anything else with it. The only thing we could potentially try is the coupling, maybe. Like, we could, like that stack separator there. We could try a decoupler and then invert it just to see if it does anything. But I generally don't think that it will. Have you tried turning the crossfeed on to see if it works in reverse? Well, we could try that. That would be really weird. So that thing's... The other thing is, I'm sure when we go to launch bay, it doesn't respect this. It doesn't respect a lot of things. Like, if you go to the, for example, the parachute. In the parachute deploy settings, if you set what you want, like let's say we set, I don't know, 950 meters. And then when you go to launch, it seems to have a completely different set of values. What kind of valve can we put between them? What kind of valve can we use, Derp Tweaks? The only thing I can think of is possibly using a circular strut, if there is one. Something that physically doesn't allow fuel to transfer between the two. and use it to sort of separate the things. Well, we just use stack separators. Tube. So, like, would a tube stop the fuel transfer? But they only do them in small and medium. So, for example, if you put a tube, yeah, large. If you put a tube here, oh, it won't let me connect. Why won't you let me connect? The tube will only connect on one side. It will deny the mono, but I'm trying to find a solution. I can move the mono tanks around. If I can find a solution to the fuel problem. Why does the... I don't understand what the tube is for exactly then. Lightweight and strong, so much cooler than a truss. It's just basically a one-sided connection truss then. Yeah. Well, that's not a solution either then, is it? That can connect. I mean, that is extreme jankiness. But if it stops the fuel from moving, it could actually work. It's probably quite lightweight as well, 0.7 ton. Because funnily enough, they only do adapter shape. Like, why is there no cylindrical one here? There must be. There, what's that one? Large circular truss. Let's try that. There's a large. It's very high. That's amazing. I think we launch it just to see what this does. Just to see if it actually gets around the fuel problem. If it manages to transfer fuel from the upper stage through that truss, something is definitely bugged. Because that should never be a thing. It's fun when you right click on the parts manager, it takes forever. Alright, so I think we can safely conclude that that is 100% bugged out. If we can't stop the fuel transfer with a piece of metal and pure separation, then there's no way we can stop fuel transfer, right? Someone claimed on the forums that using the L2 landing leg causing fuel problems. The L2 landing leg. Do you mean the clamp? Or do you mean these landing legs up here? Like, the fuel is depleting evenly down all tanks, if you look at it. It's just neatly drawing fuel from all tanks. What do you mean, no wobble? I haven't started moving yet. Yeah, if I don't do a gravity turn, I don't wobble. Fuel flow bug with landing leg LT2 wombat medium solution. If you place the medium landing leg on your rockets, you'll experience all sorts of fuel imbalances in your rocket stages. It took me time to narrow down the issue, but in the end I found a part was the culprit. I don't know if the landing legs are okay, but my workaround was to go into the rocket game autosave JSON and search for this part. Change it to fuel crossfeed false. Do this for the L2 landing legs. Wait, what landing leg am I using? I don't really see why they would matter, but it is. I am using the wombat leg. Okay, so let's try that then. Get rid of that. We'll put that back to how it was. We'll save it. Now, I need to find this file. Update to local low. Update to local low. Intercept games. Kerbal space program. Save single player. Single player. Your save game. And then... what's the name of the file? Oh. Look at the autosave.json file. Why would it be in the autosave file? Wait, has it captured it in the actual save? Yes, it has. Right. So if I edit that save... well, I was thinking of taking the legs off, but I'm kind of curious as to whether this works or not. Right, so I look for landing leg 2V. In this section, you will find crossfeed. Yep, crossfeed true. Change it to crossfeed false. Okay. So if we load that back in. Oh, does it say for all four legs? I didn't read that bit. Do this for all the LT2 legs. Durr. That's 2. That's 3. That's 4. Okay, that's all 4 done. I'm not hacking the game, I'm changing the JSON file. Changing a text setting is not the same as hacking a game. Okay, let's see what we get. Well, maybe that's the point, honestly. Maybe the setting shouldn't be there, and the fact that it is there is confusing the fueling system. Like, maybe that is the literal bug. It's reading parts that allow fuel transfer, and it's finding these landing legs, and it's behaving badly. I don't know. Sensor Johnny, thank you for 1.5 years. Well, I'll be damned. You what? Amazing. I mean, the S3s are still in drawing fuel, which they shouldn't. But the upper stage is no longer losing fuel. How do I fix the S3 tanks then? They don't have landing legs on them, but they're taking fuel. The transfer stage. The upper stage is fixed. Put legs on them. You know what? You laugh, but if you put landing legs on the middle stage and do that, I bet you it fixes it. Did I turn what setting on? Maybe that's the solution, just put legs on everything. See, fuel crossfeed is disabled. I told you. Did I not say to you it doesn't bring things over from the VAB? See? Deploy settings. It's not enabled. It's kept the 950, but it doesn't have the setting, and it doesn't arm it automatically either. The fuel transfer in the uncoupler. Hang on. How would it run on GTX 970? Do you remember a guy called Bob Ross? Do you know how long it took him to, like, paint a scene? That's your FPS if you run this on a 970. So what was you saying about the crossfeed thingy? The other thing, I did put this on upside down, so we can't rule that out either. But we can soon disprove it. So what we can do is we can get rid of... If we pull that out of there and go for a coupling, we used a decoupler. Come on, game. We put it on upside down. So they've got the arrow pointing the other way. I suggest to turn the fuel crossfeed setting on to see if it works in reverse. It didn't make a difference as far as I could tell. It was off. But the next test is to basically run a decoupler pointing the wrong way just to see if that makes any difference to the second stage. Mark Sterling, thank you for 74 months. That needs to go there. You remove the fuel lines. Well, the fuel lines are removed completely, aren't they? So they weren't on the upper stage or the lower stage. So there's... Where are those struts gone? Okay, game. Just delete the struts. Fine. See if I can. Intuitive, not. Right, let's see what that does. I just want to check something. I just want to load up its autosave that it's made just to see. Oh, it's put fuel. It's auto-saved it with fuel crossfeed back on the landing leg. How does that work? It's re-enabled it. That's not even a permanent solution then. So now then, I would expect it, if we launch this, we can expect it to not behave on the fuel anymore. Yeah, but Sherlock, I did, didn't I? I made a hard save, I adjusted it, and then I loaded it back in. When it auto-saved back out again, it put the setting on true. Oh, what? What? It's still not doing it, though. Even though that setting's gone on again. Do you know what's fixed it? Inverting that separator. Because look, the middle tanks are not draining. The middle tanks are not draining. And the only thing I changed was that separator. Put it on upside down. It wasn't the fuel line, Sherlock. It had nothing to do with it, mate. Trust me, there's nothing to do with it. The fuel lines were there just to try and pump fuel back. Aqua Vitali, thank you for 29 months. Thank you for 81, Mickey. But yeah, basically putting the... If you use the decoupler, you're doomed. If you use the separator but point the arrow down, it works. Because I think the separator doesn't allow fuel one way, whereas the decoupler will let it go both ways. So the separator will let fuel one way, but if you put it upside down, it basically lets fuel back to the top or something weird. But I mean, you know, It's a janky workaround, but it's a workaround. We'll see in a minute. When we get to the next stage, we'll see what fuel we have left. Yeah, if we flip it back the other way, that's final proof, isn't it? We have still way too much fuel. I think, yeah, we need to drop some tanks out of this. Did you put to only burn the fuel from the main, not engines at once? Negative. You can see everything's lit. Let's just check the fuel again. See, all the transfers are still full of fuel. Mikey NZ, sorry, thank you for 31 months. I'm not convinced, Maruk, that it's the landing leg thing. I think it's the separator. I'm gonna try and reverse prove it now by flipping that separator. So this thing here, if we take that off now, if we put this back that way, so that is a TD37. Which is a stack decoupler. No, I think I said it the wrong way around. So basically, we'll prove it now, but the theory is that if you use a decoupler, which is has a one arrow on it like that, normally you point that up. But at the moment, it looks like if you point it down, it stops the fuel from being drained from the upper stage. The stack separator has like 2 arrows on it and will always drain fuel. But we'll test it now, because if I launch this and it starts draining the S3 tanks, then that's what it is.